And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing 7 Days to Die. Alpha 15 Survival here. So, in between episodes, as you can see, it is day 23. I've kind of gone through my base here and done a little bit of work. I put another layer of the iron bars around the outside, so we don't have to worry too much about falling off during Horde night, and we can shoot down there if we really have to. I'll probably be spending most of it actually down there so I can loot the bodies that are coming in like I did last time. Another thing is all of our furnaces are running, pretty much non-stop, so we are generating a lot of heat, and it's causing quite a few screamers to show up. I'm not sure where she went. Oh, there she is. Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's cruising. She should stop running here. There it is. So all these bodies that are right around my spikes here, these are all screamers that have come and gone, and it's been pretty constant. So I put in the other two entrances. So this one here and this one over here are both in now. I did that yesterday, and they're dry, and I started laying out the next border of spikes. So that's spikes are going to go sitting on top of that, and then the concrete is going to go right up to the edge, and that will allow a little bit of protection. One thing I know is when cops come close, holy cow, we're getting some serious fog coming in here. When cops come close, and they tend to explode, if there was just dirt around, that would basically, they would create a crater into the dirt. With concrete, sure, they damage concrete pretty substantially, but they don't obliterate it. A couple of cops, if they blow up in the same spot, would definitely do that. Okay, so this fog is going to eliminate the ability for you to see what I'm doing today. So what we're going to do is we're going to do weather, clouds 0, weather, rain 0, and weather wet 0. So that should basically clear that out. You can't really change anything with fog. It's dependent on clouds and weather, I think. So today we are going to plant some trees. I'm a little low on wood, and yes, I could go and just ravage the forest around me. That is definitely a possibility. However, I like having a little bit of scenery around me. So I like this little set where you can look out and you can see a forest and hills. If that was bare of trees, it would look really plain, and I don't like just clear cutting the forest, especially because every tree you cut down gives you 2 seeds. So they kind of want you to go around and plant. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to use this very large flat area up here as my staging ground, as my area for planting. And we don't need any foul trash sitting around here. So we're going to want to clear cut some more grass, because I actually need the plant fibers. Oh, wrong one. So I do need these plant fibers for sod. As you can see, my little hole over there is almost filled in. And I've got a little bit more sod on me, so that will go a long way. So trees, you can actually plant. I could plant trees on my roof. They only need to be planted on one little piece of soil. So I have done it before where I've created like a separate platform placed one dirt on the surface and then planted a tree in that one dirt. Now the thing with trees, unlike regular plants like these over here, trees have to be planted at least 3 blocks apart. You have to have a space of 3 blocks between them. So you know, planting any substantial amount of trees takes up a little bit of space, but they only take, you know, 3 days or so to grow, and then you can harvest them. And I did do a test. I planted some trees on a private world. I planted some trees on some fertile dirt. So I fertilized some dirt, and I planted a couple trees on the fertile dirt. And then once they matured, I cut them down, and then I compared the amount of wood that I got from those trees to trees that, you know, were planted just on regular ground. And I only got 50 extra wood out of the trees planted on the fertilized soil. So it wasn't a gain enough to actually want to plant a whole bunch of trees and waste a whole bunch of fertilizer on trees, just because, you know, 50 wood, when you're getting 750 wood out of a tree. Excellent feathers. I didn't even know these were in here. Could always use the feathers. Okay, now that we've got a little space, I want to steer clear of this dip because we're going to be filling this in. And so let's start way back here. So when you want to plant these, I try to look exactly in my compass line at a major direction. So I've got a bunch of pine seeds here. So your first one will go in, and now you want to go 3 over. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th goes in. So I try to keep this consistent as I go. I don't know why that box is appearing above, and I am freezing. Of course, I'm freezing. So once you have a line set up, let's go one this way here as well. Then you can just back up, find your spot, and then just sideways. And you can just plant them. So you can plant them pretty fast once you have it set up. And let's go a little bit more, plant another one. It's kind of ending in that hill there. And then you want to set yourself up again. I wish the compass had a center line. That would be so helpful. I might look into the Valmod UI to see if I can't get that. I remember the Valmod one having like a center point. So this is exactly 3 apart. And maybe we're going to go one more this way. Don't want to get too close to my other farm there. Okay, one more. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why that box is above the block, but we'll make do. So there's another one. So I can plant quite a few trees like this. It adds up, and once they get fully grown, it's thousands and thousands of wood. So you don't have to do this very often. You just, once you're getting low on resources or on wood, just plant a tree farm, let them grow, and then harvest day, you know, come out here with an axe and just go to town. I also noted that they don't really grow very well on sod. So if you have a lot of sod in the area, try not to plant them directly on sod, because they tend not to grow fully on sod, or they grow very, very slowly. Because I had a kind of a farm like this planted in my other world. A couple of the trees were on sod, and the rest of the trees had matured and the ones on sod had not. So that was unfortunate, but lesson learned. So this is a substantial amount of wood that I'm planting here. Okay, last row. There we go. And now once these are grown, this will look kind of cool, because it'll just be a absolutely maximum thick forest in here. And I've got all these torches sitting around I don't really need anymore, because I'm not living in this house. I'll leave this one. I'll leave one of these over here just to keep my potatoes marked. But all the rest of these can kind of go by the wayside here. I'll use them somewhere else. I gotta watch. You know, I'm far enough away from this barn where mobs could spawn here. And the one mob that tends to spawn by barns are dogs. And we all love dogs. So you just gotta be careful. I'll make sure these are all empty. I'll eventually tear this house down. I'll leave the barn. I like the barn, but the house can go. I've already gutted all of the stuff in it that I can, and I don't really need it around anymore. But that will have to wait. The other thing that sucks is getting rid of these spikes, because in order to get rid of these spikes now, you have to hit them like 6 times. Yeah, 6 times. 6 swings for every one of those. What I think I'll do is once I get an auger, I'll cut underneath the dirt. I'll like dig down one here, and then I'll cut underneath all of these and let them fall. And once they fall, they'll turn into like wood debris, and then I'll be able to just harvest the wood, and it'll be a lot faster. Continuing bringing up my potatoes. So that was 28, 22. I want, how many of these? 12? Oh, no. Recipes, potato seed, 12. So these are the 2 right here. These are the fertilized dirt. So I want to make sure those get planted on fertile dirt. Now this is kind of a tedious process, because I don't have any reference point for blocks. One of the things I hate sometimes when you plant, it'll plant it in a different spot. I'm eventually have a farm up on top. I've got almost enough rotten flesh and stuff for a good sized farm. Now the rest is, I think I've got enough sod on me to fill the rest of this in. So this here will be the last layer of sod. And then on top of this, like I said, this is the trench where spikes are going to go. And then we're going to have a concrete block up here. And that's going to go another 10 blocks out for concrete for the final skirt all the way around. And then after that, I can put in regular dirt, and I can use it for my tree farm. So it's all coming together. So yeah, one of the things I did in between episodes is I crafted a bunch of 7.62 rounds. Now I had to level up my gunsmithing skill in order to do that, and it's pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of patience to level that up, because you can level up gunsmithing just by, you know, crafting bullet tips. And so I crafted 500 bullet tips, and you keep the forge open when you do that, and you get the experience. And then I smelted down and crafted 500 bullet casings, and so I got experience from that. And I crafted the gunpowder at the chemistry station, and I got the experience for that. And all of that combined took me from a gunsmithing skill of roughly, I think I was at like 25 or 26, and it brought me up to, let's see, 55. So I gained a little over 25 levels just by crafting those rounds. And once I hit level 30, I was able to unlock the 7.62 round crafting. And so when I, you know, made the 500 rounds for those, I kept the window open, and I got all the experience for that as well. Craft those at the workbench. So all in all, I got quite a bit of experience for all of that. And once the gunsmithing skill is maxed out, then you can just craft that stuff without having to leave the window open, and it goes a lot faster. So yeah, I heard another screamer die on the spikes there just a minute ago. These faint, very juicy sort of sounding deaths, and I know it's another screamer. We're generating a lot of screamers right now. The concrete or the cement or the stone is almost done smelting down. And once that's done, I'll kind of turn the forges off for a little while, let our heat map cool off a little bit. So there, that whole little valley in there that a lot of people probably thought was futile to fill in is all filled in and ready to go. And the only other spot that's going to need a little bit of that kind of work is over here. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to fill this entire valley up. It's just going to go a little bit, you know, it's going to have the 10 blocks out, the trench, another 10 blocks, and then I'm just going to taper it off down into wherever it goes. But right in here, this is sort of the base of our next line of spikes. And this outer wall of spikes during Horde Night kind of cleans up and clears up a lot of the weaker zombies. So, you know, your nurses and your Darlenes and all these zombies come hit this spike level, end up dying, and that allows the ferals and the miners and the soldiers to get in close to where I can kill them and loot them. Because a lot of these guys, the only loot that they're going to have on them are like sham sandwiches and, you know, things that we don't really need to stockpile. But the ferals and all those, when they come in, they're going to have a lot better loot, and we'll be able to use all that loot close at hand. So I'm still debating whether or not I want the barbed wire on here, because I don't want, like the miner zombies, I don't want to die out here because I want to loot them. I want to get an auger going. An auger would go a long ways in helping clear some of this land. You know, I have actually edited my auger to be even more useful than it was, you know, in vanilla games. So yeah, this is just a lot of concrete. It's going to be such a massive amount of concrete. That's why I've got 6 smelters all pumping out cement right now, just because it is a vast amount of concrete. And the rebar frames, I've crafted a few thousand rebar frames because of this as well. Because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of concrete, but in the end it's worth it. It's a lot less base maintenance after Horde Night. You just go and repair some of the concrete and repair some of the spikes, and you're good to go for the next Horde. It takes maybe a morning after Horde Night to actually get it all set up, ready to go for the next round. And plus the outer row of spikes really helps clean up and clear up, screamers that come in, wandering hordes during the day. It, kills the dogs that come in. It's a lot of spikes, and it's going to be a lot of steel to get all those spikes up to steel. But I think it's well worth it. So yeah, this is quite a lot of rebar frames and concrete to get all this set up. But once it's done, it looks great. And it allows you to really expand on feeling safe and be able to plan for future expansions. Because yeah, we're going to be tearing this whole hill down and putting a garage underneath, and that is where our mini bike will go. And speaking of mini bikes, we've got to go out and do some more looting soon, so we can get that mini bike book hopefully soon. But yeah, so this is going to be a trench for more spikes. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of concrete. I'm going to have to go load up on a serious amount of concrete. I'll do all the hammering and stuff between episodes. I know that that's not anybody's favorite thing to watch or listen to, so I'll do all that off camera. Not a problem. So yeah, this is ready to come out. So I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is the final distance for the skirting. After this, I can put dirt down and not worry about it anymore. Oh, there's another one. So many screamers. So yeah, there's the final. From here on out, I can put just grassy ground or forest ground and be able to use that for planting trees and whatnot. But yeah, it's going to come out 10 this way as well, so you can see how much of that hill we're going to have to tear down, and why I would love to have an auger to help with that. Oh wow, I ran out of rebar frames. But that'll have to do it for this episode. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.